Hello, very good morning. Welcome and join us on the Mega News at 6, live and direct from our studios on the 10th Avenue Extension, Greater Estate, Nungwa at Dogonum. The news is also live on all our social media handles on MBN 360. I am El Samuels. Now the headlines.
Police killed two suspected highway robbers in a gun battle and an officer is injured. In business, petrol and diesel price floors declined marginally for May. And on the international front, Trump speaks of the noble spirit of the British.
Now straight to the Ashanti region, where the Ashanti South Regional Police Commander has shot and killed two suspect highway robbers whilst a police officer sustained injury during a gun battle in an intelligence-led operation to retrieve buried weapons.
The operation, conducted between April 25 and 26, 2026, targeted a criminal network believed to be behind a series of roadblock robberies along the Obuasi-Mansuenyinehim stretch and other parts of the country. Addressing a press conference on Tuesday, April 28, Ashanti South Regional Police Commander DCOP Joseph Hammond Nyaba said the operation was triggered by intelligence that a key suspect, Sumaila Munkaila, also known as Guda, was hiding at Vintin in Tamale in the northern region. Police arrested the 37-year-old suspect on April 25. During interrogation, he reportedly confessed to participating in multiple robberies, including a July 2025 attack on the convoy of His Excellency Dintundini Adiala Ayagitam and recent roadblock robberies along the Buipe Tamale and Vesive Fumbisi highways. The suspect later named 4 accomplices and led police to Savelugu, where another suspect, Umaru Musa, was arrested the same night. DCOP Nyaba said the two suspects subsequently guided police to a bush at Yezisi near Fumbisi in the Upper East region, where the gang had buried its weapons after their last operation. However, during a search of the area on April 26, unidentified gunmen opened fire from within the bush, leading to a fierce exchange of gunfire. In the process, the suspects attempted to flee but sustained gunshot wounds, while a police officer was also injured. They were rushed to the Tamale Government Hospital but were pronounced dead on arrival. Their bodies have since been deposited at the Bekwai Municipal Hospital mortuary for preservation and autopsy. Police retrieved a cache of weapons from the scene, including a CZ-805 assault rifle loaded with 14 rounds of 5.56 times 39mm ammunition, an AK-47 rifle with 56 rounds of 7.62 times 39mm ammunition, a pump-action gun with 6 BB cartridges, and a single-barreled gun. 4 jackets were also recovered. DCOP Nyamba indicated that investigations are ongoing with efforts underway to arrest 3 other suspects identified as Tongude, Sumaila and Bera. He commended officers involved in the operation for their professionalism and reaffirmed the command's commitment to tackling violent crime and ensuring safety on the country's highways.
Away from the highway robbery, the former finance minister Ken Ofori-Atta is set to appear before a United States immigration court on June 15th for a hearing that could affect both his residence bid and Ghana's attempt to secure his return over criminal charges.
Court records show the case is scheduled for 1 p.m. before Judge David Gade at the Anandale Immigration Court in Virginia, with proceedings expected to be held virtually. The hearing follows his release from Immigration and Customs Enforcement custody on April 7 after posting a bill of $65,000. He is facing U.S. immigration issues linked to overstaying his visa. Meanwhile, Ken Ofori-Atta, who served under former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is currently facing a series of legal challenges in Ghana, including more than 70 criminal charges tied to alleged financial losses to the state. The government of Ghana has formally initiated extradition proceedings in the United States to secure his return for prosecution.
7 people have been confirmed dead following a late-night crash involving a Hyundai Grace minibus on a Nkoko Etiapia road.
The accident occurred on Monday, April 27, 2026 at about 10:28 p.m. under circumstances that are yet to be established. Sources indicate that all 7 occupants of the vehicle, including the driver, died at the scene. The minibus, bearing registration number GR5660-18, was severely damaged in the crash. The Nkoko Divisional Motor Traffic and Transport Department, MTTD, of the Ghana Police Service has since commenced investigations to determine the cause of the accident. Personnel from the Nkoko Divisional Fire Service Command, with support from the police, responded promptly to the scene and assisted in retrieving the bodies from the wreckage. The deceased has been deposited at a hospital morgue while efforts are underway by authorities to contact family members for identification and further processes. Police say investigations are ongoing to ascertain the exact cause of the crash.
Away from that sad story, we'll move straight to the business desk where fuel price floors for petrol and diesel have been marginally reduced for the first pricing window of May, signaling a slight easing in Ghana's downstream petroleum market.
At the minimum level, petrol is expected to sell at 13 cedis 25 pesos per litre, down from 13 cedis 27 pesos per litre in the second pricing window of April. This represents a 2 pesos reduction. Diesel will also see a more notable reduction with a price floor of 14 cedis 30 pesos per litre, down from 16 cedis 10 pesos per litre in the preceding window. This represents a 1 cedi 80 pesos drop. The LPG price floor for the first pricing window of May has, however, increased sharply to 13 cedis 02 pesos per kilogram, up from 10 cedis 79 pesos per kilogram in the second pricing window of April. This represents an uptick of 2 cedis 23 pesos. The downward adjustment in the price floor for petrol and diesel comes as government cushioned consumers by absorbing about 2 Ghana cedis on diesel and 36 pesos on petrol. A temporary intervention introduced at the start of the second pricing window of April for a 1-month period. The move was aimed at mitigating the impact of rising fuel prices driven by ongoing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. The National Petroleum Authority indicates that, in line with the petroleum products pricing guidelines, all oil marketing companies and LPG marketing companies are required to comply with the stipulated price floor for the period under review. The regulator explains that the announced price floors do not include premiums changed by international oil trading companies, the operating margins of bulk import, distribution, and export companies, as well as marketers and dealers' margins. These components remain variable and are determined independently by industry players under the pricing guidelines framework.
Away from the business desk, we cross straight to the international front where Trump says the King's speech to Congress later is going to make everyone very envious of that beautiful accent.
He's a very elegant man, adds Trump, who, when talks about the noble spirit of the British, connecting the history of the US with the UK, the American cause of freedom did not simply appear as an intellectual invention of 1776. Trump says the American founding was the culmination of hundreds of years of thought, struggle, sweat, blood, and sacrifice on both sides of the Atlantic.
Thank you very much, everybody. What a beautiful British day this is. and it really is. Your Majesties, members of the British delegation, friends, service members, and distinguished guests, welcome to the beautiful White House. Great honor to have you. Melania and I will never forget the spectacular honor Your Majesties showed us during our extraordinary visit to Windsor Castle last September. Now it is our tremendous privilege to host you, and you're going to have a wonderful short stay, but stay nevertheless. Then you're going over to Congress, and you're going to make a speech that's going to make everybody very envious of that beautiful accent of yours. Very elegant. He's a very elegant man. Here in the shadows of monuments to George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, honoring the British King might seem an ironic beginning to our celebration of 250 years of American independence, but in fact, no tribute could be more appropriate. Long before Americans had a nation or a constitution, we first had a culture, a character, and a creed. Before we ever proclaimed our independence, Americans carried within us the rarest of gifts, moral courage, and it came from a small but mighty kingdom from across the sea. For nearly 2 centuries before the Revolution, this land was settled and forged by men, women who bore in their souls the blood and noble spirit of the British. Here on a wild and untamed continent, they set loose the ancient English love of liberty and the Great Britain's distinctive sense of glory, destiny, and pride. And that's what it is, glory, destiny, and pride. The American patriots who pledged their lives to independence in 1776 were the heirs to this majestic inheritance. Their veins ran with Anglo-Saxon courage. Their hearts beat with an English faith in standing firm for what is right, good, and true.
And that's all for today's morning bulletin, right live on the Mega TV. But before we take a leave of you, let's go to the Weather Center and bring you the weather in its update for the next 24 hours. So welcome back on the weather this morning. For the next 24 hours, we'll take a look at the temperatures and then the cloudiness of the weather. For the next 24 hours, brought to you from the Mega Weather Center in association with the Ghana Meteorological Agency, GMET. With reference to the weather update, cloudy conditions coupled with the thunderstorms with or without rains are expected to persist over the coast, the middle, transition, and northern sectors throughout the evening into night hours due to development of rain-bearing clouds. Windy conditions may be experienced as well. Early morning, misty or fog conditions are likely to develop over mountainous zones as well. The temperatures for the next 24 hours, the coast minimum of 24 degrees and maximum of 33 degrees. Forest 24 degrees minimum, maximum 34 degrees. Transition 23 degrees minimum, maximum 35 degrees. Northern maximum of 26 degrees, a minimum of 39 degrees. And that brings us up to the end of the weather and its update. If there's any unforeseen change, we'll come back to you with more of the update. But before we take leave of you, let's take a recap of the stories making headlines.
Police killed 2 suspected highway robbers in a gun battle and an officer is injured. In business, petrol and diesel price floors declined marginally for May. And on the international front, Trump speaks of the noble spirit of the British.
For more news, log on to MBN3 Sister Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Thank you for watching. Stay and enjoy the rest of our programs. Coming up, its sports and its updates. Please don't go away.